Undivided blood. The real story behind the India-Pakistan crisis.
Why is Grandpa crying, Mum?
The bias question hung in the room like thick smoke.
His grandfather, aged but unbroken, had tears sliding silently down the deep folds of his face as he clutched a faded photo, a sepia-toned memory of a home that no longer existed.
The mother sighed. Because, my love, sometimes even when you survive a war, you never stop living in it.
And thus begins one of the most complicated, emotionally wrenching, and globally misunderstood stories of our modern era. This is not just a political crisis. It is a crisis of memory, a crisis of identity.
A crisis written in the ink of blood.
The womb was one. Before there were borders, before the barbed wires and checkpoints, India and Pakistan were one land, one body. For centuries, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Jains, Parsis, Christians and others shared streets, songs, festivals, and food. They fought together. They farmed together. They prayed in different ways but bled the same red. But the seed of division was planted long before partition. British colonialism, with its policy of divide and rule, quietly began feeding mistrust between communities, sharpening lines that had once been blurred. It was not hatred that created Pakistan. It was fear of loss, of being overpowered, of not being seen. And it was ambition of a dream called homeland. The Cut of 47. In 1947, when the British left, they did not mend the fabric.
They tore it.
India gained independence, and Pakistan was carved out, almost overnight. Sir Cyril Radcliffe, who had never been to India before, drew the boundary line in 5 weeks. A pen created a wound. Within days, trains that once carried letters began carrying corpses. Entire villages vanished. An estimated 10 to 15 million people were displaced. Over 1 million people were killed. Women were raped. Children were beheaded. Families were burned alive. It wasn't partition. It was trauma incarnate. Kashmir, the orchard that burned. The beautiful valley of Kashmir, with its snow-capped peaks and golden saffron fields, became the most coveted prize in the subcontinent's divorce. When the Maharaja of Kashmir hesitated to choose between India and Pakistan, tribal militias from Pakistan invaded in 1947. The Maharaja turned to India, signing the instrument of accession. India sent troops.
War broke out.
Since then, Kashmir has become a bone buried in blood. India says it's an integral part. Pakistan says it's disputed. And caught in the middle are the people. Kashmiris, silenced, sandwiched, shattered. 3 wars have been fought over it. Thousands have died.
Countless stories untold.
In the streets of Srinagar, boys throw stones while soldiers patrol rooftops. In the echo of each gunshot lies a scream the world refuses to hear.
The Nuclear Standoff.
In 1974, India tested its first nuclear weapon. Pakistan responded in 1998. The crisis now had teeth capable
of extinction.
The Kargil War of 1999 saw Pakistani soldiers and militants infiltrate Indian territory. The 2 nuclear-armed nations teetered on the brink. Global powers watched in terror.
The war ended.
But the animosity didn't. Since then, every terrorist attack, every border skirmish, every diplomatic slight feels like a match near.
Gunpowder.
India blames Pakistan's military and intelligence agencies for fostering cross-border terrorism.
Pakistan
points to India's treatment of Muslims, especially in Kashmir.
The truth.
Both sides have wounds, but neither will let the other bandage them.
Beyond the Jans, the human crisis.
Behind every soldier is a mother who lights a lamp and prays. Behind every ceasefire is a farmer who wonders if his fields will bloom or bleed. There are friendships that stretch across borders through WhatsApp messages, hidden love letters, and stolen cricket matches.
Indian songs play on Pakistani radios.
Pakistani poets find their verses in Indian classrooms. In villages near the line of control, children draw maps with no borders. They see mountains, rivers, and skies, not politics. But politics always arrives, armed and blind. Attempts at peace, broken bridges. From the Shimla Agreement to the Agra Summit, from the Lahore bus journey to secret back-channel talks. India and Pakistan have tried to make peace, but every handshake has been followed by a gunshot. Sometimes it's an attack on a military convoy. Sometimes it's political change. Sometimes it's just fear, dressed as nationalism. Hope has been fragile, but it has never completely died. Because even when flags change, hearts remember. The media war.
Television screens on both sides scream louder than soldiers. Jingoism sells. Nuance dies. A 24/7 war is.
Waged not with bullets, but with biases. A child grows up learning to hate a neighbor they've never met. Truth becomes casualty. Memory becomes weapon. But on quieter corners of the internet, people from both sides talk. Share photos.
Exchange recipes.
Mourn. Together. This is the war that never makes the headlines.
The war to remain human.
What now? The India-Pakistan crisis is not just about territory.
It's about identity, fear, pride, and pain.
It is about two siblings forced into rivalry by history's cruel joke. But reconciliation isn't impossible. It begins with stories.
With listening. With courage.
When the children of Lahore and Lucknow begin asking not who is to blame, but how to heal, then, perhaps, peace will no longer be a dream. It will be a choice. Epilogue. Grandpa, were we ever friends? The old man looked down at his grandson, tears drying on his cheeks. He whispered, "We were more than friends, child. We were family. And maybe, one day we will be again."